If you are a single guy and you are frustrated with dating apps and dating in general, I'm going to show you something right now that no dating coach and no red pill influencer has ever shown you before. This will help you date online and avoid disasters, which majority of online dating and dating app is nowadays. And we're going to use AI for this because most of you guys are not able to do this with your own eyes. So what you're going to do for this is take out your phone or get to your desktop or laptop and go to ChatGPT. If you haven't used ChatGPT, this is your chance to join the rest of us in the future. Now go to ChatGPT and you will see Explore GPTs. This is, and a lot of you probably don't know this, but this is essentially an app store inside the ChatGPT. And go into the search window and search for the Dating Profile Analyzer. This is the app or GPT that I wrote for all of you guys. It's totally free and it's going to do magic for you. And then you're going to get pretty much the only conversation starter because that's all this app does, which is help me analyze a dating profile. Then it will give you some instructions because this is where you're going to go to a profile of a girl that you've already matched with. Obviously, there is no reason to look through profiles before you match because you have to swipe right like hundreds of times before you match with one girl. So just go by looks. The first picture is good enough. And then if a girl matches, then you go back and look at her profile, which a lot of you don't. A lot of guys get really excited. Oh, a girl matched with me. Let's start talking to her. No, this is where a lot of guys start wasting a lot of their time because all of the red flags which they miss are actually there. And the absence of those red flags, which is very rare, is an indication that you should spend some time getting to know this girl. So it will give you the instructions to basically take screenshots, including all of the text and pictures. And I've went online on one of the dating apps, I think it was OkCupid, switched my location to America, and picked 3 relatively typical profiles that you guys are usually dealing with in America and Europe, and we will feed that into this app. All right, we're going to start with the first profile that I found, and it's a pretty easy one to analyze. Most of you should be able to do it if you watched my channel, but this is a good test for this app that I wrote, the GPT. And so you upload those images. Usually the max is 10 images. So the text is important. So you got to get all of the text and, 1 or 2 or 3 or more pictures. Try to put in the most sort of provocative pictures if she has some, and the more detailed pictures. So in this case, we're not really running out of spots. We uploaded all of them and boom. This is the magic of AI, and this is specifically, I've configured ChatGPT to essentially red pill every single profile you're going to come across. So in this case, in every case, we're gonna start with the positives because it is important. After all, you're trying to find a girlfriend or partner or wife. So let's start with the positive. In this case, it nailed it right on the head. She is fit and active, that's great. She has conservative values. That doesn't mean she's Republican. Conservative values in terms of family values. So this is a positive regardless of how you look at the politics. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink that much. No weed, which is good. She doesn't already own a dog or a cat, which means she kind of started a family without you. So that's good. And she wants a long-term relationship rather than hookups. So all of these are positive green flags. All right, now let's get to the yellow flags. Now, these are not complete deal breakers, but they could be. Now, in this case, she says that she wants a confident, which is good, but then she says tall. That's already a little bit of a yellow flag, but then strong masculine leader, right? So it's a mix of good and bad. So gotta pay attention to that. Then she says she has an independent life. Oh, that could be good. This could be bad, right? If she is independent, I don't need no man, girl, that's a problem. But if she's telling you, listen, I don't need your money, I have my own money, or I earn enough, that could be positive. Now, She does show a lot of her body, which is true, and just like my app caught it here, that even though she kind of knows that that's her leverage, they're not trashy, right? Because some of it is from the gym, which is a positive thing. Okay, so grad school plus full-time job plus 2 kids. This woman's schedule will be maxed. That's, it's borderline red flag, but we'll probably get to that. And strong emotional language in the bio, sometimes a sign she has dated weak men before and overcorrecting. Good catch, actually. Good catch. All right. Now, of course, let's get to the red flags. And this is something that a lot of guys miss all the time, because this is the most important thing. This is where you say, listen, no matter how seldom I match with girls, I'd rather be by myself and continue swiping than end up with a wrong girl for me. Okay, this one is she's a single mother of 2. Absolute deal breaker, with an exception if you are also a single father who has at least 50% share of custody. The app is right. You will never be number 1. You will be the provider for someone else's child, essentially. And you will never be, you will never have a biological legacy, which is important to a lot of guys. And, the emotional bandwidth is already gone, all for the kids. There are exceptions, like, for example, if the kids are, older, grown and out of the house, that's fine. Or if you literally can't have kids and want to have kids, and it's a kind of an adoption situation, and if she doesn't have a legal father for the child, there's tiny exceptions, but most of the time it's a red flag. Now, she's 41. If you guys want to have kids, obviously that's too late for her. Also, obviously, she is in her last decade of attractiveness, so that's a big deal as well. Now, if you guy in your 60s, well, and she's a younger woman, that it's not that bad at all. Now, here, obviously, the other one that could easily be seen, she's got tattoos. I always say tattoos on women, with very few exceptions, like to cover up a scar, are visible symptoms of invisible problems. Always pretty much avoid women with tattoos, with very few exceptions. Multiple ass/fitness shots. These photos are for validation. That's absolutely correct. She also continues saying family always comes first, which is great phrase for her, right? But because she's a single mom, that means that, you will always come last. Now, I did, she does live in Vegas, because that's where I switched my profile to, because I feel like there's different types of women there. But again, if it's not a red flag. I would disagree with my own app here a little bit, but it's something to think about. And she has a lot of masculine energy, which kind of goes with what we've already seen with some of the yellow flags, right? So now there's a verdict here, and it said this is a classic high effort, low return of single mother profile, and on and on and on. You can obviously read that yourself if you want. So there. And by the way, it recommends one of my videos to watch. For example, 5 red flags on women. That is a must watch. Now, this is the end of the analyze. I know it's ChatGPT and you might want to ask some questions. Now, unfortunately, ChatGPT is no different than all social media platforms and a lot of other high-tech software. It is pretty woke. So basically, this is where you cannot ask any questions. It will literally tell you like, oh, whoa, you want me to, analyze a woman here, in details. I'm not going to do that. We can't have that, right? So, but at the same time, I've programmed it so that you pretty much get all of the information that you need from this analyzer. There's really no reason to follow up. But of course, you can analyze other profiles. So, this is essentially the entire process. I'm going to show you a couple of other profiles a little bit quicker, so you can see that there are other things that it catches as the green flags and red flags. But again, it is a lifesaver, because you want to avoid a lot of red flags that a lot of you guys either too lazy to see because you don't want to look at profiles and read them all the way, or some of you just don't know that some of the nice, well put sentences that may not bother you mean something that really is a deal breaker. All right, the next girl is relatively easy for you guys to analyze, but again, let's see how the app does. So we upload all of the pictures. She didn't have that much of a profile, which is fine. As a matter of fact, you know, a lot of profiles are very empty, and those you don't even need this app. Though if you will run this through my app, you know, a profile that has like one picture and no bio, whatever, just one sentence, it will flag it as this girl is not really serious. It may not even be a real profile. All right, so we uploaded this. Once again, here comes the analysis. It says high maintenance, party leaning girl with heavy personal baggage, sexy photos, and major stability signals. Proceed with caution. All right, now we knew that probably if you just saw the pictures, but you know, we also want to look at some of the green flags. She is looking for long-term, kind of a marriage situation. It did appear that she is a family-oriented. She has a full-time job, expresses loyalty to her family, likes movies and simple hobbies. Those are all good things, right? And again, we want to always see the positive. We don't want to operate like a lot of these women operate, where they're not looking for good things in men. They're looking for only red flags, and they just that's their goal. We don't want to be like them, right? We want to see the positives. So the yellow flags here, she does work like as a waitress in at the nightlife environment. It is Vegas, but nevertheless, she also says that she's not best at messaging. That means you're probably going to get ghosted. Smokes sometimes. Again, it's in the yellow flag, but for some people who also smoke, which you guys should absolutely not. You know, to me it's a red flag, but for some people it could be acceptable. And if it's sometimes, maybe she can quit, you know, so that's why it's a yellow flag. Talking about mom raising 4 kids alone, heavy makeup. I don't really mind heavy makeup, but for some guys it could be a problem. And she works a graveyard shift, which again, schedule in that. But this is why these are yellow flags, right? This is just kind of saying, listen, this is the stuff to pay attention to, and then you can decide if this is a problem specifically for you, or some of these yellow flags become red flags, right? But now let's get to the red flags right away. It says a massive trauma load, a brother with repeated medical emergencies. Here in Thailand, I have to say that happens a lot, right? She also has 3 autoimmune conditions. It's not her fault, most likely, but for someone like me, I don't want to step into a situation that it's already a potential tragic situation, right? Obviously, her photos are way too sexy, and it clashes with her I want marriage type of want that she says. Now she also has low financial stability. She's still a server who doesn't have a car, and she's almost 30. And there are many other things that here, as you can see. And then of course we have a summary here where it says she's extremely attractive, but carries major instability, financial pressure, family chaos, and health complications. Fun short term, sure. Long-term partner material, high risk. That's correct. That's correct. And this is what a lot of guys don't see. All right, let's get to the last profile, and we'll walk through it really quick, and then I'll give you some pointers at the end on just generally how to leverage this app to your advantage and how to incorporate that into your dating world. All right, so the third profile that I picked is specifically a girl who wrote literally a book about herself, and nobody wants to read that. And this is one of many uses for this app, because it's going to read it all for you and then also parse it out and make sense. Now, unfortunately, we only have a little bit of 10, so like I think 8 or 7 were the screenshots of the text, but that does take priority. And then only I think I got 2 pictures in, but most of her pictures were kind of the same style, so that was actually okay here. All right. The summary here, that she is a sweet, adventurous woman with stable habits, but emotionally scattered, indecisive, and overly whimsical. I didn't know that was a word. Low structure, low certainty. Okay. Okay. Green flags, natural looking photos, little to no thirst trapping, thin, active, outdoorsy. I love how my app is literally telling you guys, this girl's kind of cute. Speaks two languages, usually means better communication range and cultural depth. That is true. Cares for her dog, doesn't smoke, drinks only sometimes, enjoys art culture, and just a lot of good things here in this profile. And obviously, because she wrote a lot, that's what we kind of get when we analyze this profile. Now, the red flag, sorry, let's get to the yellow flags here. The fact that she just kind of relocated recently to Vegas and may relocate again. As somebody who lived in Vegas and done exactly that, I totally understand a lot of people don't stick around there. But this is a very Vegas type of a thing. Her writing style is childish at times, open to long-term, short-term, and new friends simultaneously, which means she doesn't really know what she wants. But I gotta tell you, these are all of a very yellow flags. Like, I'm glad that my app mentions them, and that's why I wanted the yellow flag category. But in this case, unlike the other two girls where a lot of yellow flags were borderline red, in this case, these are not bad at all, I don't think. All right, red flags. Indecisive life, we kind of read that already in the bio. Too wordy and rambling. And my app is right. It says women who write essays on dating apps often use the profile to self-therapize. I didn't know that was a word. Not to attract a partner. That sometimes is true. She does not even mention that she wants a long-term marriage or family and stuff like that. And that's what you're looking for. That's a problem. She specifically mentions that she's not eager for a relationship. Now she's because I didn't upload a lot of other pictures, I didn't even give a chance to this app to do its job in that category. But it kind of saw it already because she's way too bonded to her dog, right? Every picture has her dog, and you're gonna wonder whether or not who's even gonna have the right to sleep in the bed with her, right? So she's way, and then so right on the money with this app. Also unclear career. Could be a red flag if she just doesn't just only goes to the fact that she just doesn't know what she wants, and that's probably what I'm getting out of kind of all of this together. The final verdict, and it's almost kind of Jerry Springer's final thought, so I kind of like it. When I was programming this app, I was like, well, how can we do it that we have beginning and a story, almost storyline. It says Kayla is warm, cute, fun, and seems genuinely kind. She'd be great for adventure, dating, low pressure connections. Essentially friend with benefits, but for anything long term or family oriented, question mark. Anyway, so it says proceed only if you're not interested to build something serious. So exactly what I said. I couldn't put a lot of this language that I wanted to use because this app is already borderline being flagged by ChatGPT. But I'm walking a fine line. So here it is. I'd say test it immediately. Just go to a bunch of profiles that you would normally swipe right on and take screenshots and test it for yourself. Because if anything, this is just going to be a good practice for you to see what you don't see in those profiles and yet what this app catches. So this is probably one of the, I'm really proud of this one. I'm really proud of this one. I couldn't find anything like this anywhere else. And because, now everyone's got ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is the only AI tool where you can even have these, this app store. This is a great tool for you guys to do it. And every time you match with a girl, please use this app. It will save you time, save you money, save you frustration, but at the same time, hopefully will guide you to one of the few good profiles out there. You can go back to the video to figure out how to find it, but I'm also gonna put a link in the description of this video for just a direct link. You can click on it and we'll get you to that app. In ChatGPT, there's just really no installation. You just get there, start talking. So let me know if there are any questions or why some of these red flags or green flags or yellow flags popped up, and I'll be happy to explain. If it's a good one, I usually make a video out of it. And of course, don't forget that, like I said, just like this app, I can't always say everything I want in my videos, because YouTube, TikTok, they will absolutely kick me out. So if you want to know exactly what I think, you need to sign up for my free newsletter. I know it's 1995 type of vibe, but that's the only way how I can tell you exactly what I think without TikTok banning this communication. So go to themillionmanproject.com and you can find that. All right, guys, good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Put that in the comment section. Peace.